Alrighty guys, don't mind the COVID hair. I haven't been able to cut my hair for a while, so just been chucking a hat on. But in this video, I go through and refresh absolutely everything that I can outside of the engine. So all the flanges, O-rings, thermostat, coolant housing, PCV valve housing, hoses, pipes, valve covers, things like that normally break down over the course of the engine being used for 10 years or so. Then while I'm doing that, I look in and I think you've seen in the previous videos, but both the front two drive shafts were split. So I had a look online and I wasn't sure if the outer boots were split as well, so I just ordered two brand new ones, two brand new drive shafts to put in, and then I pulled it out and it looks like the boots were okay on the outer, but the insides both were cactus, and that's probably because of some oil leak that it had previously, which got to it and sort of worn it out. But yeah, so I go through all that in the video, and then I get left with the clutch. So yeah, hope you enjoy the video. So we're just getting some of the hardware off. Manifold, turbo has to come off. Gonna get the clutch and flywheel off. The alternator's off, throttle body's off, and tension is off. I think that'll be it for this engine. Hey, do you reckon I can reuse this? Looks kind of cactus to me. Bit of an update, I've managed to take the old harness off. There's already a harness in here, so I don't need doubles. I've left the sensor cables on. I've taken all the PCV stuff out and waiting for the parts to arrive. The coolant flange snapped, like disintegrated, so I'm going to refresh that. The PCV stuff, that disintegrated too, so I'm taking that out. I've got a thermostat to replace that with. What else is there? Now I'm up to doing the timing belt and water pump, so after that I can start I'll do the valve cover as well, but that can be last. But after that I could then start to put everything back together again, all the accessories from the other car, clean it up a bit, and then I can start to get it back together again, and hopefully get back in the engine bay. But slowly coming along. I'm going to start with the thermostat housing and the O-ring that comes with it. So I've already loosened up everything, it's off the flange. I'm just going to get the hose off this bit here, the hard hose, or the hard line, off one of these flanges. So bit of a pain in the ass to do, but they all are. And I'm hoping to do the other coolant flange on the other side. So yeah, she's looking much cleaner. Once I get the valve cover gasket, I'll get that off and clean it up right up, and it should be good. Alright, so thermostat's in, everything's back together again. The old O-ring in the hard pipe just disintegrated when I took it out. Don't know where it is, somewhere down here. I'm keeping all the old parts so I can compare. This is the coolant flange. I think that's on the other side. That's completely seen better days. Like it's, I don't know what's happened here. But you know, that's gone. 2004, probably the original. I'm just going to upgrade it with another OEM replacement. Now this goes to the heater core, I believe. Goes something like that. So I'll replace that as well. And then I've got a bunch of other parts there that I'll throw on. I think that's just the timing stuff. So other than the timing stuff, I'm waiting for the PCV valve replacement. I'm going to probably change the injectors over to something else, because I think the blue ones that are in there are slightly smaller, so might look at swapping those over today. Flange is on, so that connects up to the heater core, I believe. 1, 2 in it, 1, 2 in and out. Yeah, getting closer. So bolt a few things back together again, and I'll get started on the timing side of things. Alrighty, so got the covers off. Made sure that the cams and the make sure it's top dead center both sides, and then I'm going to now remove, looks like there should be enough slack to pull the belt off. If not, I'll take off the, that looks like 6 mil, maybe, not even 12, 11. So take off the belt and then go from there. So I've got the replacement stuff here, water pump as well. Since I've got the engine out, I'm going to refresh everything. So, oh, looks like I need to take that off too. But yeah, it's going along well. Alrighty, so the PCV system came today. That's the old bits. And I have installed the PCV, rebuilt the system to brand new plastic bits that are OEM replaceable, so they shouldn't leak for another 10 years. Yeah, it's coming along. I'll pop the turbo back together again today. So that's the turbo there. It's a KO3S, and it should just go there right into the bottom. So I will do that now. But yeah, it's well and truly coming along. Perfect. Alrighty, here's an update. The turbo is on. Lines are on. Be careful of this one. This bolt here is dangerous. That made me bleed. Don't know how that happened, but it happened. And everything else is PCV is back on. And that wraps up for today.
Can I get a shout out?
Yeah. You have to shout out to someone though.
I shout out to all of the Peppa Pig fans, even though for some reason I am a Peppa Pig fan. Thank you.
Okay. This is for Peppa Pig. Alrighty, so that's it. Alrighty, back again with another update. So, I don't know if I've mentioned this, but the drive shafts need to be updated because they're ripped there and there. So I was going to rebuild it, but I just picked up some drive shafts instead. So gonna, once I get the right hex bolt bit, and I think it's hex socket bit, actually I think it's a 17mm bolt, then I can undo the drive shafts and install it. But bit on the engine, it's now complete, I believe. Just waiting on the clutch now, so really it's just the clutch and drive shafts. But yeah, the the clutch itself is, I contemplated reusing it, but then I saw how battered the clutch was, and there's a lot of deep grooves, lots of heat marks. The clutch itself seems like it's got a bit of meat, but it was a pain in the ass pulling the engine out, and if I have to do the clutch again, yeah, you don't want to go through the pain of removing the transmission off the car, drop it down, and reinstall the clutch. So you might as well get all the hard stuff done. So I'll do the clutch. I've got a clutch coming from the US. It's a Clutch Masters, I think it's a stage 1. It'll be a single mass flywheel conversion, and yeah, it should hold well with the stock power. And yeah, and just today I finished off the rest of the PCV, and don't know what these solenoids are, but if you know what they are, let me know. Yeah, I've connected all of them up to the correct lines. I've connected the tip back on the turbo, N75 on the turbo. I've got to do the diverter valve still, but that's easy. Otherwise, yes, the coolant lines. Got some new quick release connectors, because I didn't want to deal with using the well, when I tried to look at the O-ring, it was actually worn out and some of the bits snapped, so I got 2 new quick connectors, and they connect up to the what looks like the heater core. So that's refreshed, but yeah, coming along nicely. Yeah, I think it's ready to, it'll be ready to go back in soon. But yeah, that's the update so far. Everything looks messy, but I've tried to keep everything in a logical spot where I can remember. Like, that's all transmission bolts. There's more bolts around on this side, but that's all, yeah, airbox, intercooler. Oh yeah, I got some new radiator hose. Again, these quick connectors, the O-ring, probably could have renewed the O-ring, but for the sake of no leaking, I just got some new ones on both sides. And while I was removing the radiator, the old one, it actually snapped on me, so I actually got a new radiator over here. Oop. New radiator, ready to go in. And so yeah, it's getting there. Can't wait to get it all in and finally get it started and see how it all runs. Actually forgot to record, but I got both of the drive shafts out. And I just put the new drive shaft in on that side, and then I, remembered that I needed to record. So here are the old drive shafts. They seem okay. There's still grease in them. I could probably rebuild these and then send them off to get it sold, but for the purpose of rebuilding this and refreshing everything, I decided to get some replacement drive shafts. So yeah, so I'm going to pop this in now, and yeah, this will be the new drive shafts. Don't know how I'm going to get that in, but probably go in that way. And it was actually pretty easy lining it up and pushing it in, and it's amazing when you have so much room, there's so much you can do. Drive shafts typically isn't something straightforward to do. Got to drop some suspension bits, I don't know about the A4, but certainly I'm going to have to drop this. Alrighty, so drive shafts are now in. I just need to tighten them up, but I wanted to just loosely tighten them all up and make sure that I've got the right side on. And looks like it's all good from this side. Brakes looks like it's still pretty good at the front as well, pretty meaty. So thank goodness I don't have to change that. And they're the larger style rotors as well, so 312. But yeah, nice thick brand new drive shafts. Old ones are quite light. Don't know how sturdy they were, but it's definitely ripped to boot, which I can rebuild. I rebuilt my Golf ones, which was not fun. You had to take the bottom part off, play around with some circlips. I think there was 2. Take them both off, slide that, take the Jubilee one-time clip off, slide it all out. Just clean the grease off and repack it with grease, or put the new boot in, pack it with grease, pop your new clip on. I mean, when you buy the pack, it comes with all of it anyway, so, and then you can just reverse the process. But I make it sound like it's easy, but it's a pain in the ass to do, especially with the circlips. You need a tool, which I have, and I've bought in the past, to grab the circlip off. But yeah, that's it for the next update, or the last update. After I get all the drive shaft bolts in nice and tight into spec, all we've got to do now is just really wait for the clutch to come through, so I can mount the clutch, and then she's going back in. Yeah, so clean the transmission housing. I mean, some of these, the bearings have got to come out anyway, but made sure I just cleaned it up at the very least. But yeah, it's all coming along now. Alrighty. Yeah, so that's the end of the video. I get the drive shafts done, and it wasn't actually hard, seriously, because the engine's out. You've got heaps of room. You can move the transmission side to side. A lot easier than if you were trying to remove it, one side at a time. You need like extension tools going all the way into the wheel well, which I have, but it's a pain in the ass. But yeah, it just went straight through, went straight in. I mean, I did run into some issues where I put the wrong side on, and I just swapped it, and it was all good. So yeah, can't wait to get this clutch now. But when it arrives, I'll release another video getting the clutch done, and pretty much putting the engine back in, and then fluids, prime, and first start. So yeah, thanks for watching, and yeah, stay tuned for the next episode.